Trudeau actually wore a Superman suit. Well, not a Superman suit, but dressed as Clark Kent turning into Superman for Halloween. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel any way about it. He dressed up as Superman for Halloween.
No, I feel this is a little bit how he feels about himself, or how he wants other people to see himself, or how Canadians feel about Trudeau.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's symbolic in that sense where he's here to save the day. He's like low key, but I don't know, man. I don't think he really wore it on some political statement.
No, I don't think it was necessarily a political statement, but in the world we're living in, everything is a political statement.
Not necessarily. We make it, but like, is it really? Are we overanalyzing the situation? Like, can it be just as simple as this guy just had Superman suit for Halloween? Like, I was a pirate this year for Halloween. Like, are people gonna be, yo, is this how George really feels? Like, is George really out here?
Yeah,
being a pirate?
You see, the thing is, like, with him, I mean, he is very much an image person.
Yeah, and he's being watched all the time.
Yeah, and he's an image person, and like, he's a very good looking young man. Well, young man, he's older than me, but he's a very good
prime minister. Yeah,
he's prime minister of Canada. He's in a position of power. He's a white male. He was somewhat privileged, and he comes in with very liberalist ideas. Young people love him, and Superman is always seen as a Christ-like figure. Mm-hmm. Superman is truth, justice, in the American way, and his father actually was Minister of Justice, and he did believe in like segregation between people's private lives and politics and stuff like that. So like, there's a lot of truth and justice in the way he's kind of been representative, and a lot of people think Trudeau is kind of a savior, and no matter what issue, he's gonna find a way. And I'm like, first of all, he's a politician. As much he's not only a politician, he's a prime minister. There's so much he can do because I do understand he is trying to save the day. There's a lot of last minute buzzer beaters he's trying to shoot, especially with NAFTA and deals like that. But I mean, I feel it was a little bit political, a little bit.
Maybe, but
because I think that's kind of the way he wants to be seen, because his father's legacy is huge. Mm-hmm. Like, if you really think about prime ministers in Canada, like that you can name, there's only maybe a few people can really name.
Okay, I could see like, okay, maybe he sees himself as the Superman of Canadian politics, and oftentimes with celebrities or politicians, we kind of hold them to a different pedestal than we hold regular citizens. Which I'm
upset about. I don't care about my politicians' sexual downfalls. I do not care. Unless it's like illegal. If it's illegal, you shouldn't be doing it. Go to jail, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But if you're cheating on your wife, or you're doing anything else, I can understand what it means by your character. But okay, I'm gonna put it very simply. Just because, let's say your manager or your workplace colleague cheats on his wife, does it matter to you?
No, it's not my business.
But why does he's doing his job?
But that's because he is our business. Like, technically, he works for us.
No, I understand.
In a funny way.
No, I understand he works for us. But at the same time, is he not allowed to have a private life that is private, that is respected according to lead it the way he wants to lead it?
He's allowed, but it's not realistic to expect a media which is focused on feeding us information, whether it's good or bad, to stay out of a person in the spotlight's personal life.
I feel,
it comes with the territory.
No, I feel it's because we don't even care as much about politics or about what people stand for, as long as we get juicy details about their personal lives. Because I know a lot about the Kardashians' personal lives, but I have no idea what they stand for.
Well, they don't stand for anything. They're entertainers.
But isn't that a little bit of an issue? Because you are creating a foundation for how a lot of women will see themselves in self-image.
I know, but they're more like, are they responsible for how other people perceive them? Like, is Justin Trudeau responsible for him wearing a Superman suit?
But he's responsible for wearing the suit because he
that led us to think, okay, maybe this is how he sees himself,
or maybe the way he wants to be seen. I mean, everything is a political move. That's part of the reason why I dress well.
We just overanalyze celebrity lives because
It's easy.
It's easy and it's reported. There's more access to the information. So it's easy to speculate, but maybe it was just so simple that this guy just threw on a Superman suit because that's how he was feeling that day. Like, but not that he's like, yo, this is a statement about my political impact. It could have been, but I don't feel like it necessarily is just because he's the prime minister. Like, at the end of the day, these are normal people too, to an extent.
To an extent. Because I mean...